Initiating startup sequence.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You are now plugged in.
Hey guys, and thank you for tuning in to episode 207 of the Plug and Play podcast. What is PAX?
What is PAX? We'll tell you.
I honestly, I don't remember any of it, Tim. It's like a drunken. I don't know. See, he's like a made up thing in my imagination, in my head. This week is brought to you by Zach, which is me, and Tim, which is you.
Welcome, minions. I just want to say that. You're making it hard for me.
Oh, sorry. It's been a while.
We are alive. That's the good news, is we somehow survived the thing that is PAX. And to answer your question, what is PAX? PAX is the annual thing that we subject ourselves to in the name of science and video games and fun and entertainment and in the process of killing our livers.
And more importantly, ramen.
Yes, the quest for ramen. So, PAX is the Penny Arcade Expo, which oddly enough was based on a webcomic.
And I think it was mainly when they actually started it, I heard some people talking, it was only like board games and card games. It had no video games. It
just grew and grew until it literally took over downtown Seattle in its current form. Over like 40,000 people attending.
And there's 4 events worldwide.
Yeah, there's more than that. There's PAX East, there's PAX Australia, there's PAX, whatever the Texas one is.
PAX West, PAX East, PAX South, PAX Australia. That's 4 of them. I can't think of another one. Oh, then like PAX Game Dev, which is like for developers only.
So it's a game conference, and that game includes tabletop, it includes video games, obviously, but also LAN parties and card games, anything that can remotely be considered a game. I've seen, virtual reality, ARG, just everything games. It's just this confluence of gamers. For one shiny moment, we forget our lives and just geek it out.
And it's fun.
It is fun. It's also exhausting.
I'm tired.
So I hope that's a rudimentary explanation of PAX you can all understand, so we will refer to it as if you know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
It's in downtown Seattle, like we said, the convention center, and also like 4 surrounding hotels. Literally like 40,000 nerds dressed up in cosplay and or just normal gaming clothes. Take over downtown Seattle, much to the consternation of the locals. And and then we leave after 5 days. 4 days.
What are we drinking? Because I need to take a sip.
All right, so today's tasty treat is brought to you by
PAX Box.
Yes, PAX Box is a thing. Like all these people that I just mentioned crammed together in a small space, sharing whatever germs they have. Inevitably, it leads to a lot of people getting sick afterwards. There was it swine flu epidemic one year or something? Something fairly major sprung up about 4 years ago. Anyway, to combat that, I've made all of our cocktails today based on Emergen-C.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
So
we're getting a lot of our vitamin C in.
Yes. So the mint fuel up, which you're about to enjoy, has lemon lime Emergen-C, bourbon, mint leaves, and, of course, water and ice. So
sweet. Cheers.
It's kind of a spin on the mojito.
Yeah, it's good.
It's better than I thought it would be, honestly.
Yeah, you never tried this one before, huh?
Well, no.
Nice.
I wouldn't do that. Why would I try it first? I got to try it with you at the same time. So for our break, to go forward a little bit, I have a choice for you.
Okay.
The cold fashioned or the snot toddy. I'm leaning toward the snot toddy just because it's more complicated and weird.
Okay, fine. We'll go with that one.
All right, but we could go to the cold fashioned, which is like an old fashioned that we both like, but it'll probably taste nothing like an old fashioned.
Yeah, let's not ruin that.
Okay.
All right, so this week's gonna be a little bit different, guys. We're gonna run down and actually tell you our experience at PAX instead of talking.
We're gonna tell you parts of it because literally, if we were here telling you about all the things we did,
all right, we're gonna be here another 4 days, ladies and gentlemen.
We're not gonna do that to you. We're gonna get some highlights. Is what we're gonna do. So, should we just start?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's start with the parties. Like during the day, you go and see games, and you cram yourself into the convention floor and get, tired of people elbowing in the ribs. Afterwards, you split off, you go separate ways, and there's after parties hosted by typically game companies, but also sometimes hardware manufacturers. And the first one I thought we'd mention is Tiny Builds, because, wow, they threw a party.
So we've always raved about Tiny Build parties before. The very first year we went was Party Hard Party. And we were like, oh, what the hell is... Who's Tiny Build and what's Party Hard? And I was like, oh, wait, they made speedrunners. And that was back when we were doing speedrunner family game nights every week, and we were having a lot of fun. It was a great party. And then the next one was the I can't remember. It was the game that you played. It was like the train shooting one.
Oh yeah. Final Station.
Yep, Final Station. So they did a Final Station party, and then last year they didn't have one, and then this year they came out fucking swinging.
They really did.
It was called the Triple Door. They had a salmon dinner for Tim and I, unlimited drinks.
I cut myself off after.
Yeah, Tim
8
had so
whiskeys.
many that he cut himself off.
Yeah, I'm like, if I have any more, this thing's going to get bad.
I mean, it could have gone great.
I mean, I was the guy that yelled to the stage that we got you when he said he was complaining that.
Yeah, I guess we should explain that too. Not only did they just have like a dinner and cocktail multiple hours for us, they also did a conference while we were there for media, showcasing all the new games, past games, what is Tiny Build, and they gave away some shit. They did a Tiny Build bingo.
Bullshit bingo.
And they gave away, I think it was a laptop and a Nintendo Switch. Is that right?
Just a laptop.
Okay, just a laptop. Somebody else got something too, I thought. But
there was
like
a runner-up
consolation
prize, but
prize?
it wasn't. It was like a headset or something.
oh, okay, cool. Anyway, so yeah, they gave away a laptop, really nice laptop. I think it was Alienware laptop.
So that was a great party. But
was an amazing party.
Let's keep it rolling. Let's move on to the Acer Predator party.
Okay, well, now I just got done talking up the Tiny Build party, but now I got to backtrack a little bit
What was that?
because the Acer party probably was one of my top favorites.
Really?
Like right tied up there with Tiny Build.
So why is that? Explain.
The flashing lights, the DJ,
They had a good
the
DJ.
VIP, a lot of cool free swag, a lot of video games.
Not really a lot of video games. I'm going to take issue with you there.
Well, okay, a lot of video games I like.
They had some awesome tech showcasing a few.
Sniper Elite 4.
Is that a new game?
Yeah, it's
How
like
new?
out this year.
Okay. Because they were also showing Rocket League. They were showing off their hardware, which is fine. But there wasn't like new games for me to play. So I was a little.
We should say it was the Acer Predator party is sponsored by Intel. So our glasses had Intel blue LEDs in them.
And
that
they were
lit
flashing.
Up. Flashing. Our lanyards, which I noticed was only the VIPs had those lanyards. So there's really no reason for our fucking wrist strap because we're the only ones that had the lighting up LED lanyards.
Yeah, we had a VIP bar where we could.
Yeah, like VIP table. Like they treated us like kings, and it was awesome. Not saying the Tiny Build didn't, but I really like loud club music, and it just gave me the club vibe, and I was like, I like this.
Of all the parties we went to, that was probably the best club vibe.
Yeah.
So in the same space, was it the very following night?
Yeah.
This was more my favorite because they had games. The mix had games. Like, I don't know, 30 games maybe? There was a ton of games all over and a really good selection, curation of indie titles. Such a good selection that I actually skipped on going to another indie presentation because I was sure that I was not going to see a better selection of indie games all in
So
one place.
the funny thing about the mix party is that like I'm not a big indie game person, but I kept myself entertained up until like, the last half hour.
Yeah, there was stuff to try. A lot of stuff
What was
also...
the name of that like mask one? We got the mask pin. I legitimately want to play that game.
The World Next Door.
The one with the mask with like the Tetris style like matching cubes and like shooting fireballs was called The World Next Door. Okay,
We'll talk about that a little bit more later.
all right.
But they had a ton of games to try.
They legitimately like the whole entire club was filled up.
They used the space really well. You could get around, unlike in the floor on PAX. I went to the Indie Mega booth and I played a couple games, but it's packed, it's crowded, it's super tight. It's stressful. This was chill. You can have a drink, you can have a beer.
The one thing I will say about that
the longest
party,
line I ever saw was like 2 people ahead of you, right?
the one thing I will say is there was no free drinks.
Sure, there was one actually.
Oh yeah, you got one free drink. Sorry,
let's be fair. There was one.
there was one free drink.
Um,
Right.
So
But for an indie showcase,
it was amazing. And
this
honestly,
was the best indie showcase.
if I'd
I've
had
ever
as
been
many
to.
drinks at Tiny Build, I wouldn't really appreciate any games, honestly.
That's very true.
So anyway,
There was also like a weird like. Oh, never mind. We'll get to it in a little bit, I guess. Actually, I didn't write it down, so I'm gonna mention it right now. There was like an indie, like Mario Kart bug racing game.
yeah. What was the name of that? We'll have to look it up.
I can't remember.
It's not on our list anywhere. That was kind of fun.
It was a lot of fun. I liked it.
There
Except for
was
the
at
fact that I
least
looking at the
at
wrong
least
screen the
5
whole
or
time.
6 games that we had fun playing on some level. We aren't going to mention them.
And playing together.
Yes, which we'll get to some of them later, but not all of them, because there's literally too many games to talk about in one podcast. The last party I want to mention is a Polish Devs party. Always an awesome party.
Oh
These
my
guys
God.
have no hospitality.
Oh my
They throw down the
God.
food, really good food. They throw down the booze, all you can drink. Some guys up front had too much, obviously.
Holy shit, those guys were fucking wasted.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like Grand Theft Auto 5 red screen wasted.
That's always a nice way to wrap up PAX.
Oh, dude, the fucking Polish sausages, I felt like a fat ass. I grabbed like 7 of them to start with. I was like, these are all mine.
Yeah, I had one plate and I was full. It was just, and it was awesome. Like their spread was just meat. Like
It was,
there's no
the
veggies.
Polish know how to throw fucking down.
Yeah,
There was cheese. There was cheese puffs.
Okay, fair.
I mean, that's not really a veggie, but yeah.
So next up, I have listed our adventures,
Okay.
and again, we're just hitting some highlights, not everything.
And by the way, these are not in order of the
not at all.
nights. No, these are just like what popped in our head. So, what was your favorite adventure?
well, I didn't do the last one, so that one can't be. I probably had the most fun with Mega Games Mini Golf. That's a party we haven't mentioned, but there was a party at is it Top Spin Golf or whatever? I can't remember the name of the
No, it was
Flat. What's the name?
it was
of
called
the
Flat Stick Pub.
Yeah, Flat Stick Pub. It was thrown by I'm drawing a blank on the name.
It was Skybound.
Skybound Games.
Skybound Games, Skybound
And-
Interactive.
And they like hooked us up with free mini golf and a nice swag bag.
Which, by the way, we're making it sound like, oh, they hooked up with like mini golf. Like, no, they legitimately hooked us up with mini golf. When you go to a Flat Stick Pub, you have to pay to go play mini golf.
Yeah.
So like, they literally paid for everybody to go play unlimited mini golf.
Mm-hmm.
They gave us a shitload of free swag. There was swag all over the place, and I got a sweater again.
You did. They didn't have my size. It's all good.
Sorry.
So to kind of like publicize the event, they were asking people to post pictures with the hashtag Mega Games Mini Golf, and we had some fun with that.
Oh, I'm still having fun with it.
So
I'm gonna start bringing it to work and just using it.
I
Just
think
like
we
hashtag
pretty
mini-
much dominated the hashtag with our 4 social media accounts.
Yeah.
So if you go search on Twitter and somewhat on Instagram, not as much, Mega Games Mini Golf, you will see us posing our little robot figurines on everything from drinks to the back of a pig sculpture's ass.
To the middle of a random ass bar between some roses
Yeah, I'm sure somebody
on a gnome's nose.
Somebody at Skybounce Games in like their big corporate office, like way away from here, is like, "What the hell's going on over there?"
Wait, these guys got way too drunk at our party.
So that was probably my favorite as far as
It was a lot of fun. I really had fun.
So my second, well, the only other one I was involved in that we're talking about is finding absinthe.
Well, that came right after Mega Games.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, it's technically like we just kept
Yeah.
the party going and we kept
it's
taking
kind of
photos
a
and
different
shit.
topic though. I mean,
This was definitely this out of everything was an adventure.
it was.
This was legitimately.
So
an
we have a
adventure.
place we go to for absinthe, but when we got there, they're closing down. They were sort of open, they weren't serving
They're
anymore.
like, "Hey, douchebags, you're too late. Go."
Yeah, pretty much. Get the fuck out. So I'm like, crap. I don't want just any drink. I want absinthe.
So did I.
So-
It's a PAX ritual. We have to have.
So I
absinthe.
called up my old friend Google, said, "Hey, I want some absinthe," and it gave me the most incomprehensible directions I have ever seen. But I'm not going to blame Google on this one because
It was
we,
literally the weirdest fucking.
we
place.
are in a weird area. If you visited Pike Place Market, you know that it's on multiple levels.
Literally multiple levels,
The-
underground, above ground.
There's not, and in some parts, it's not really streets. There's sky bridges. There's ladders go up and down. It's like a very
There's legitimately ladders. Like you're not like hands and like feet crawling, but you're like literally walking up like the steepest steps ever.
so for Google to navigate us to that.
There's no way. There
No.
was, and not only this, it was like an in between level.
In between levels, tucked away, but we found it. Damn it,
We did.
we found the Zigzag Cafe.
We did.
And we had a good absinthe drink.
And we had another drink too. I can't remember what the hell it was.
Just
Was
that old-fashioned.
IPA? Oh, was that old fashioned? Okay.
Yep. But that was fun just getting there.
So the weird thing about this, I've never had an absinthe like that. They literally made
They
all
didn't have the pitcher with the little spigots.
Well, yeah, but they made all the ingredients, and he didn't even like do anything. He's just like, "Here you go. You know how to do this?" I was like, "Nope." He's like, "Just pour it over the sugar
We had to
cube."
pour our own
And I was
water
like,
over the sugar
God
cube.
damn it!
Yeah, that part sucked.
Yeah, and I was like smashing my like sugar cube because I didn't get it all because I didn't pour slow enough. I was like, "Fuck."
It's hard to pour slowly from a glass. But yeah, getting there was the adventure. And we actually helped some other people find it too. They were just
did.
as lost as we were.
Yep.
I don't know why they followed us. They obviously don't know who the hell we are because they would never follow me with my sense of direction if they knew who the hell I was.
That's very true. They were like, "Hey, is Zigzag up there?" I was like, "Nope, that's what we're trying to find." So we ended up like meeting.
No,
up.
we took them straight there.
Yeah, we took them straight there.
Legitimately straight there. We had no idea.
We had no idea. We
we
could
got
have been
lucky.
going down in a dark alley, and
They were
it
from
got
like
weird.
New York or New Jersey or something.
They were from Staten Island.
Yeah, and
I mean, I talked to them, so yeah.
right. So that was my number 2. The number 3 is all you. So
well, so number 3 is the Hotel Theodore, which sounds like a very up-class hotel in the middle of nowhere, Seattle. But the directions kept getting weirder and weirder.
You haven't told people why you were going in the first place.
Well, that's going to come up later. Should I mention now? Okay, I was going to see a new game.
You didn't even say what game. Just you were going to see a game.
Okay, I was going to see a game. And the directions kept getting weirder and weirder as I was getting like text messages and email updates about like the elevator shaft's broken. Text me, I'll come down and get you out of the staircase. Okay, so the front door will let you in unless you in the escalator or the elevator. Just let them know you're coming to see me.
So I'm like convinced at this point that Zach's going to get murdered. I'm like,
actually, just call me and I will come and meet you down in the lobby.
now I'm like, Zach, you need to text me every 30 seconds and send pictures where you are.
So I did send you pictures of where
You
I was
did,
at.
and it was actually a really nice hotel.
It was
was
very nice
It's
hotel.
probably like a 3.5 star or something.
Maybe even more when you got inside the rooms. Like those rooms were like on point with the Razor meeting,
Okay.
and it was really nice. It was really weird, but I will say, they out of all my appointments, they're the most hospitable. They literally had like a full bar of like fruits and veggies and like muffins, and they had double shot espresso waiting for
And
me.
I
and they
just
had
told him like
Coca-Cola.
not to drink anything at this appointment because I thought it was sketchy.
Yeah, like they had
And
like
what does Zach do? Ignore my advice.
No, I took a unopened can of Coca-Cola. There was a can.
You know,
And drank that.
You know you can put anything in a can with a syringe, right?
I didn't know that.
I'm sorry. Forget I said that.
I mean, I'm fine now. I'm still back home, so maybe I have AIDS or something, but who knows?
I don't think you can get AIDS from a soda. That's not how it works.
Oh, well, then I'm good then.
Okay, cool.
Maybe I had Coke. I'm not sure. But yeah, no. So that was a very weird experience. And the funny thing about it is that like through all these years going to PAX and stuff like that, I've walked past this hotel hundreds of times.
Well, it's very vertical. Like there's not much.
There is a very thin, slender hotel in the city of Seattle, and I never noticed it. And I saw the sign. It was like one of those like old like Western like on the corner signs that like sticks out above the road. It was like Hotel Theodore, and I was like, sweet. So I started walking towards it, and I could never find an entrance for it. So like I texted him, I was like, "Where's the entrance to the hotel?" And he was waiting down in the lobby for me. He like peeked his head out, and he was like, "Over here." And there was like just some random ass blue door that like was glass, like blue wood and glass, and that like led you into the Hotel Theodore. And I was like, "This is fucking weird," but it was a fun adventure.
Yep. So moving on from adventures, some people we know complain that we don't talk enough about the food we enjoy. Q. So we're going to talk about some of the food we enjoyed in Seattle. So hands down, the one place you wanted to go to over and over, probably 3 more times if I'd let you.
Dude, I would have gone every day, all day long. This is like my okay, you're the dumb fuck that like got me hooked on this.
I mean,
I only get to go like basically when I'm in Seattle.
Right.
So I'm gonna fucking live it up as much as possible.
So we're
while
talking
I'm in Seattle.
Kazuki Ramen. We got amazing ramen.
By far my favorite ramen I've
and it's
ever
still
had.
only like $11.
It's so fucking cheap.
It's like $11, and it's amazing.
And
Their broth, I have not tasted better broth anywhere, and I've tried a lot of ramen.
the pork belly too is just fuck.
Yep, and the chicken's
egg
good.
and oh my god.
Yeah, really good. We're not sure what we had the second time, but it was still good. It wasn't quite as good as the shoyu we usually enjoy, but even that was amazing. Yeah, we had it twice. It was excellent both times. Put me in a food coma once where I could barely make it home though.
Well, yeah, we did take a cab from there.
And then our last day, Monday, we were starving. This was like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We hadn't.
I almost hulked the fuck out waiting for this place. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know I kept my composure.
You did. You kept.
But
cool.
I was like, I haven't fucking ate all day. I am hungry.
So we were at Serious Pie, and there was a party of like 12 ahead of us. That sucked.
Oh my god.
And it took forever for us to get sat. They no fault to theirs. They were
No.
packed. They were packed.
I'm not gonna lie. That was probably some of the quickest packed service I've ever had in my life.
They did great. It's just that we were hungry, and so like we were not in patient frame of mind. Although we were totally civil.
We were totally civil.
But inside we're like,
yeah. I was fucking starving. You were starving. We were like, we should get 2 pizzas.
and we did.
We did. And we ate them all.
Yes, thin crust wood fired pizza. One of our pizzas had.
Is that considered wood fired?
Yeah, there was wood underneath it, dude. You see it?
I didn't see the wood. No.
Yeah, it was one of those Adobe whatever the brick ovens.
Oh, okay.
They were loading wood underneath it.
Oh, I didn't see that. No.
Pretty sure I saw stacks of wood. So unless that was just decor.
No, I'm sure you're right, man.
So anyway, one of our pizzas had heirloom tomatoes and bacon, and
So good.
bacon was so good.
The fucking bacon was
the
so
tomatoes
amazing.
were good too.
Oh my god.
And the other one had prosciutto and arugula and soft boiled egg.
Yeah, I really didn't get a whole lot of the egg vibe on mine. I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe that was just on my side because I really did.
Did you?
It was yummy.
Was
Yeah.
it? I had one little piece. So basically, how they did it is they didn't do a traditional like pizza cut.
It's kind of oval almost.
Yeah, it's like an oval.
They
so
cut down the center.
and then they cut it in 4 pieces.
So
you get
it
8
looks sort of like
pieces
a
total.
fish skeleton, if you can imagine
Yeah.
that. Like going down the middle.
And so we just split each pie in half. Whatever piece of the pie was facing that person is a piece of pie that person got. And it was
The egg might have
really
been leaning
good.
on my... It was so good.
I mean, I had one piece that had some egg in it, and I was like, this is fucking delicious. But the rest of it was still... that pizza that was on your side was so refreshing.
Yeah.
So refreshing.
And they had other ones I would love to try. They had one with
It's definitely like
mushrooms. They had one with...
It's definitely... We have to go back next year.
yes.
So...
Maybe no, we're not quite as hungry. Well, I don't know, because I want to eat 2 pizzas again.
I mean, we could probably eat 2 pizzas when we're not hungry. I'm not going to lie.
It was good. Yeah, none was going to waste.
I don't remember this one.
Urbane Restaurant. I'm only bringing this up because our happy hour restaurant has been replaced. Dragonfish has kind of...
Oh, is that the name of it?
Yeah, Dragonfish has kind of neutered their
Oh, we've
happy
never
hour.
mentioned it on this podcast. So the place we've always gone is called Dragonfish Cafe.
No, they can go there now because now it sucks.
I know, but we've never mentioned it before, so they don't know what we're talking about.
That's fine.
I know, but now
But
they know.
we would, instead of lining up like all the fools at Subway and Jimmy John's, we'd go to places at happy hour and get food for about the same price, higher quality, plus they had alcohol.
Yep.
So that's a little pro tip right there.
Yep.
So we found a new place called Urbane that has a really good happy hour. They had cheap mac and cheese, cheap wings. I paid like $5 for 8 wings. It was insane.
Yeah.
And they were good wings.
I paid $7 for macaroni and cheese with, was it pork, I think, in it?
I had some pork belly slider. No, not pork belly. It was a rib sliders, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, rib.
real-
Oh, wait, I had rib in my macaroni and cheese. Never mind.
It was good. It was cheap.
It was very good.
And there was booze available. So
And the bartender there is fucking awesome.
Yep. So I just wanted to throw that out there as our new happy hour spot
Yeah.
for this year.
Yep.
So, you ready to move into some tech talk?
I
PAX tech talk?
You ready to talk some PAX TikTok?
PAX tech talk.
All right.
I'm everywhere.
The key to our PAX survival was our power bricks.
Oh my god.
We would have died without them. I was running my capture card off of it. I was recharging my phone about 2.5 times a day.
Jesus balls.
We both brought brand new big power bricks. You mentioned yours on, I think, 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, I think I did. The Anchor... I'm going to go to it right now, actually, really quick. The Anchor Power Core 20,000 or 20,100 ultra high capacity power bank.
So I got pretty much the equivalent from Rav.
Except for yours is a little bit bigger.
A little bigger. Similar capacity, though, like 20 something.
Yeah, yours is like 22 or something like that.
It's really comparative.
So-
Mine has 2 USB C slots and 1 USB C. So I had a direct USB-C cable to my phone, USB-C to USB-C, and then for my other stuff I could use normal USB.
I kind of wish that... so yours had a USB-C out and 2 USBs?
Yeah, USB in the middle and then a USB on each side of it.
See, I kind of wish I would have had yours then.
So the amazing thing is we didn't charge these all week.
I charged mine the very last night. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, did you?
But I still had like 1 bar left, which I could have been fine off of.
So I had 2 bars still, and I used it all the time.
Maybe I had 2 bars.
It started 2 out of 4, I should explain. So
Yeah, it's 2 out of 4 bars. Maybe I had 2. Maybe I had 1. I think I had 1.
It basically dipped like less than a bar a day.
Yeah, it really did. So did mine. Mine did really good. I think the problem with mine is that you weren't using yours on the way up there, were you?
No, I mean, I wouldn't really charge my phone until it was like half or so.
Yeah, see, I charged my phone on the way up to Seattle.
Well, wasn't it full then?
I think it was dead almost.
Okay, well, maybe you're using yours a little more heavy. But yeah, I would say both performed admirably under very demanding circumstances.
Yeah.
And if you're going to PAX or any other gaming convention or
Do you
comic
remember how
convention,
much you spent on yours?
it was $45.
Okay,
At a coupon, $5. It was $50 basically.
okay, so it was a $50 one?
The same price as yours. I just wanted to get something different than you to compare to.
Yeah.
And I think we could recommend either one of them, honestly.
I think we really could. Yeah, because mine was $49.99. So.
Mine was usually, but it had a $5 off coupon for some reason.
Nice.
Yes. So with that, let's finish off our tasty treats, take a break, and get some new bizarre tasty treats on the way.
All right, sounds good. And we are back. Snotty Toddy Potties in the hand.
It's the Snot Toddy.
The Snot Toddy.
This time we are drinking a hot version of lemon lime emergency mixed with some honey and of course bourbon.
Sweet.
It's
Cheers.
cheers. It's a good cold remedy. You don't like it, I do.
Yeah, that's not very good.
It's fine. It's not bad. You think it's bad?
No, it's not my favorite. It's not terrible.
All right. Well, you tried it anyway. So, you ready to kick it?
Actually, no.
Or we could sip it.
Let's kick it.
Let's kick it.
Tim, we're kicking off this week.
All right. So, I actually got to check this out at PAX at the board game area right in front of the...
You actually looked at it?
I actually did.
Fuck!
Actually watched a play session of it. I got a couple pictures I can share with you if you want. So this is called Congress, the board game. Do you have
I have it ready to go.
Yeah, let's let them talk about it.
I am a professional.
This is Bjorn. Bjorn has a dream to become the President of the United States of America.
It's not happening, Bjorn.
Very good. He's got orange
To
hair.
do this, he must pass legislation in Congress to earn nomination points. This is Bjorn's office. Bjorn is a senator for the state of California. Californians dream all day about globalization, arts, and conservation. If Bjorn wants to stay in office, he'll have to keep his constituents happy by passing legislation that advances these interests. This is Congress. When Congress passes a bill that Bjorn proposes, he receives nomination points. But Bjorn is a senator, not a dictator. Bjorn can't pass a bill without the support of his fellow senators. In order to propose a bill, Bjorn bids for the privilege of speakership. Bjorn picks a bill he's sure everyone will love. None of the other senators bid, so Bjorn's bill is selected, and he becomes the speaker. Congress is now in session. Now the senators have a chance to add amendments to the bill. Wendy Bardstead won't even consider a bill that doesn't fund the new monorail. Tina Polanski loves this bill so much that she wants to share the spoils.
Fuck the Polanskis.
This bill is looking popular, and Bob Ducey is nothing
Okay,
if not a
but-
trend
Yeah.
follower. Clara Gomez understands that no bill is complete without a space probe. Bjorn has decided this bill has more
She
than
likes a
enough
probe.
pork, so he calls the bill to a vote. If the bill fails, nobody gets anything. Fortunately for Bjorn, this bill passes. Bjorn gets nomination points for passing his bill. America's interests are also impacted by each bill that is passed. Bjorn's term is almost up, and it's time for re-election. Let's check on how he's doing with his constituents in California. Good job, Bjorn! You will be collecting donations from your constituents for your work promoting globalization and conservation. As everyone knows, winning an election is always about having enough money. Bjorn will need $6 million to pass this election. Hooray for democracy. Now the clock on the wall says the campaign season is drawing to a close. Let's see if Bjorn has enough points for the nomination. So close. There's only one way to break this tie. These are the bills that Congress has passed. What luck! Bjorn has passed bills which advance the secret agenda of the healthcare conglomerate. That's good thinking, Bjorn. This is Bjorn. He's the nominee for the President of the United States of America. Vote Bjorn.
So this is a game for political nerds like my wife. Basically. Alright, so this Kickstarter is looking for $15,000. They are currently at $3,979 with 44 backers and 28 days to go. Just launched. $5 gets you a donor. $39 is the first real level called Campaign Manager with a copy of the game and all stretch goals. There's multiple intermediate levels. The top level is called the Super PAX. Create a senator based on yourself to be included in the first print run, Kickstarter exclusive. We'll follow up with backers apps campaign, facilitate creation, see product description, full explanation. Tier includes Campaign Manager and donor rewards plus all stretch goals. So going back to the Campaign Manager so I can tell you what's in it, that's just the game. So you get yourself in the game, basically, for $500.
Jesus.
So you're going to see a theme in these Kickstarters that I picked for us, since you were too busy to pick them this week.
Yep.
They are games
Sweet.
that do not involve screams, because I'm tired of looking at screens.
Boom goes the dynamite.
This one looks fun, actually.
All right, can we play the audio?
Yeah. At least all should have audio, I think.
Goes the dynamite. 4 players, 1 mission.
Stop being so serious. Here's the deal. Boom Goes the Dynamite is my family's new favorite game. Here's how you play. It's a hilarious matching game with an explosive twist. The mission is to match as many number cards as you can. But if you turn over 2 cards that are not the same number, you can still ignite a match by using your ignite cards. Like, you can make a 10 card and a 9 card match by using a +1 card on the 9. There's also wild cards, timer cards, and if you flip over the dynamite card, then you yell,
Boom goes the dynamite.
and you get all the cards that were in the blast radius. It's fun because you have to think fast, race against a timer, and outsmart your friends and family, which is pretty easy in my house. I'm a champion. You can play with small groups or big ones by adding 2 decks of cards together, which we do a lot now that every night is game night. So if you like playing addicting games, do yourself a favor and
Order your copy of Boom Goes the Dynamite today.
That's awesome.
Hi, I'm Jake Hiller, the creator of Boom Goes the Dynamite. I love playing games and I love creating them. The first game I created is called 3 Up, 3 Down, and I sold over 31,000 decks of it on Amazon in the last 20 months. It's a fun, simple, fast-paced game. In my opinion though, Boom Goes the Dynamite is even better, and I think you're going to love it. I want to get Boom Goes the Dynamite out there so you can play it, but most of my money is tied up in inventory for 3 Up, 3 Down. So I'm reaching out to you, my fellow Kickstarters, for some help. Together, we can get this game going. So check out the back rewards below, and let's blow this campaign up.
See what you did there. I'm actually looking at this one because it's the style of game that my family seems to enjoy. We're waiting for our food in the restaurant, which is kind of how we've been playing games recently.
Sweet. So it's a dynamic, family-friendly matching game with an explosive twist. 21 days ago, $13,422 out of 5,663 backers out of Centerville, Utah.
Okay.
I feel like we have an echo.
We do.
Do we have an echo?
Why do we have an echo?
We have an echo.
Epic.
Hey, Tim, do you mind taking over the rest of this Kickstarter for me really quick?
I mean, sure. All right. For $2, you get a postcard. So don't back it at that. Back it at $15 and at least get 1 copy of the game. You can add another $15 after that and get 2 copies of the deck. So, because you can mix the decks.
Yeah.
$30 gets you a deck plus a t-shirt. I don't know why you do that. 3 decks of Boom Goes the Dynamite for $35. That might be, I don't know. Like, if you're at all interested, that'd be the way to go. I'd get 2 decks, you get 1. Moving up to the top tier, $750. Lunch with the Boom team. They'll arrange for air travel to come have lunch in Utah. So that's actually not terrible. They'll actually pay for airfare so you can have lunch with them. Plus, you get a t-shirt, poster signed, and a game. So yeah, $750 if you want. So why did I end up talking about your Kickstarter? Oh yeah, the echo.
The echo.
So let's move on to my second Kickstarter, I guess.
Yeah.
So this is actually, I don't know if it's an expansion or just like a kind of a sequel to a game that's out there called Machina Arcana. And let's listen to their well-produced video.
Machina Arcana is a cooperative horror board game in a steampunk setting for 1 to 4 players who take the role of explorers. They represent a group of individuals sane enough to resist the tide of darkness and mad enough to choose to confront it. They partake in a perilous expedition within an ancient subterranean complex. Monsters, inspired by the Cthulhu mythos, await the expedition, bent on nothing but eviscerating and devouring them mercilessly. Blood is shed within map tiles that grow as the area is explored. They contain many features and traps that provide a desperate edge while they evade and fight. There are different types of items that can be found. Steampunk concepts are translated through augmentation and gear upgrades that give them at least a fighting chance. On their ominous journey, they resolve exploring events, put into place ongoing effects, and solve side quests in order to stay alive. The horrors don't idly wait, but obstruct the explorers with a multitude of devious schemes to hinder their way. The story is split into scenarios, self-contained games with chapters that must be progressed through in order to reach endgame. A conclusive battle that defines whether doom will prevail. The pieces are set, and the board awaits its contestants. Will you survive the story and hold on to sanity while the vicious hand of your innermost darkness rushes toward you? You are welcome to try.
So this intrigues me. Of course, they said my favorite word, Cthulhu. But what I like about it is this is something that maybe I could bring to like a Magic night. We could go through like an already pre-made campaign. And like if we totally fuck up a chapter, we could try it again next week. And it's all building towards a larger story. And it's broken up into chapters for play sessions.
That's awesome.
So I just like the way it's set up, like with encounters. It's cooperative though, so you're not like, you get items and there's challenges that come up.
But it's not as hard as playing D&D where you actually have to set up a whole campaign.
No, a lot of the work is done for you. And I like that. So
do I. So take me through the backing levels. Sure.
Well, first of all, they are asking for $30,000. They have 22 days to go, 1,012 backers with $66,700. So they have double backed. $50 gets you the core game with all stretch goals. $75 gets you a premium game with the Eldritch box and all the expansions and the unlock stretch goals. And those are the only 2 levels. So basically, if you want the core game or whatever expansions they come up with, either way you get...
For how much?
$75 for the premium, $50 for the core. So yeah,
I might spend the $75 on this.
It looks interesting. If you are serious about it, I would look up the previous game that they did and see what the reaction was to it.
Okay.
Because there's
how many days ago?
22.
Sweet, I got a little bit.
So that is Machina Arcana.
Drinks and Daggers.
This looks fun.
A cooperative drinking card game.
Yes.
Here we go.
Hi, I'm Carly.
Hi, Carly.
And I'm Michael.
Hi, Michael.
And together we're Karmic Industries.
Because you put car and Mike, and then it's Karmic.
It's a good joke.
No, it's not. Drinks and Daggers is a cooperative drinking card game set
audio
in the
needs to
world
be
of
plug
the
and play
podcast
certified.
Drunks and Dragons. You'll be facing off
funny
against
is
some
it's
of
based
Drunk
on a
Roast's
podcast.
biggest villains.
Yeah, so essentially all these characters have their own decks.
It's
and
based
they
on
have
a
their own
podcast?
powers,
Yeah.
and they can do different things. They all play a little bit differently. The game is 2 to 4 players right now. It takes maybe 20 to 30 minutes to play. It's pretty easy to pick up and learn, especially since, it's theoretically going to involve some drinking. And it has tons of replayability because the different characters work together differently and they all combo off each other. And I don't know, we just wanted to make a really fun game, and I think we've done a good job.
Yeah, our main focus when we were doing this was to make it simple. Is to not overcomplicate it with a bunch of rules, especially when you're just trying to have fun, but make it complex enough that it's interesting to play and fun, even if you're not drinking.
Right, yeah, this can be totally fun if you're sober, if you want to like have your friends play with you who've never listened to the podcast before. We've actually been working on it for, gosh, almost like 2 years.
From the very beginning, when we were going to do this, we were going to do the art ourselves like absolute fools.
We both went to art school. We can both draw.
Yeah, very quickly it became apparent that this was not going to be the case. So we went to go find an artist. And right from the start, we had both agreed on the same person.
Yeah, I first found out about Bridget. She did some fan art for Drunks and Dragons. She actually sent us cards. She's actually like professionally done several Marvel movie sketch cards for Upper Deck, like stuff from Iron Man 3 and Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that. Like, she's amazing. And when she sent me the fan art for Drunks and Dragons, I was like, this stuff is bonkers. And when we thought of this project, it was like, oh, who would be more perfect to do this? And she was super happy to work on it, and she's been super passionate about the project, and I feel like it really comes through in the artwork.
Because you can actually read that just below. So we're looking for help funding our project because we want to use a top-notch manufacturer that has a lot of experience publishing games.
We found a great manufacturer. They've done a ton of really cool games.
We have a lot of stretch goals in mind, including new playable characters, bosses,
and lots of different things that we think will make the game a lot better.
And if we get to the last stretch goal, which is 100,000, we'll even put Bananas Foster in the game.
You're welcome.
Why are you doing this to us? We hope you consider supporting us, and thank you so much for watching our video.
Thank you. I love you.
So it's the camera on the live shot.
You're the best. No, it's...
Thank you.
I want to tell it.
It's audio during that part was alright.
It wasn't bad. Check them out at Drinks and Daggers.
Hey, speaking of audio, get closer to that mic. Why don't you...
Drinks and Daggers.
Do you see how he's spiked right there?
Drinks and Daggers.
Ow, my ears. If you're going to critique another podcast, you better do it right. You just fucked it up.
That's what she said.
Okay. What are they asking for?
They are asking for $25,000 US dollars.
Mm-hmm.
They're currently at $44,002.
Mm-hmm.
423 backers 29 days ago.
They have a lot of levels.
They do. $5 gets you a drop in the fish bucket. Thank you for supporting. 39 gets you Greetings Adventures. This is a level where you grab a copy of the game when it comes to print. Especially good for those of you less familiar with the podcast IP who just want a really great card game. Get you all the stretch goals as well and your name read in the thank you video. Granddaddy of them all coming in though is 2 out of 3 left. $2,000 US dollars. Kingdoms were funded on this level. Mega fans, this is for you. You get a set of custom drink steins, a night of D&D gaming online with a few friends of the Drunks and Dragons, folks TBD, and get some of the original game art by Bridget Connell. There are 3 sets of the original artwork available, each set containing hand-drawn pieces from the decks including Alodra Jal, Harper Toby, and Thom Roz. We'll also sit down with you for a DM consultation to talk to you about your own game world building or even discuss how to get your podcast off the ground. We'll also help you get... oh, that'd be cool. Also, you get to play Drinks and Daggers with Michael and Carly. Applicable events are GeeklyCon, PAX East, Gen Con, PAX Unplugged, free shipping for domestic orders, and like I said, 2 or 3 of those available.
Cool.
So you want to move over to games we checked out during PAX?
Yes. So how do you want to do this? I don't want to go down... I don't want to be talking for all 11 of my games. Should we do like 3 and then trade off?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, in no particular order, these are the games that stood out for me during my PAX experience. Gato Roboto. I think I misspelled it here. This is a Metroid crossed with a little bit of Blaster Master with Game Boy graphics, and you're a cat in a robot suit. That's really all you need to know, and based on that description, you're going to know if that's for you or not. I will say the controls were super tight. It handled really well, and that's brought to us by Devolver Digital.
Devolver Digital.
The next game also was published by Devolver Digital. I can't remember the developer off the top of my head. This game looked amazing. Like, I was in a busy, noisy environment. That all dropped away. Like, I was in this game. This game is beautiful. It's a podcast, so you can't see it. I wish you could see it. Google Grease, Gris, and maybe game, just so you get the right thing. Every screen looks like a watercolor painting. The music was really haunting and evocative. This character, this woman, was very flowy and agile. It's a platformer, but I'm trying to think of a game to even compare it to. There's parts of it that reminded me of Journey, just like the traversal aspect of it, but it's very dreamy, very melancholy, beautiful watercolor. Like, you could take a screenshot of like many scenes and like frame it and put it on your wall, and it would be totally not out of place. Just a beautiful game. The last one I'm going to mention before I turn it over to you is one that you're interested in, The World Next Door, which you introduced me to, so thank you.
Yeah.
So like once a year or something, I guess, like there's a portal that opens up and people from one world can go to another.
Yeah.
And like, so people from our world that is all science-based go to this magic world, and you as the player character are introduced to the concept of magic in this other world. And in this world, you're basically in like little combat arenas, which look like a grid of like, say, Tetris or Dr. Mario or whatever. And when you line up 3 of the same...
Or more
of the same color or sigil or whatever, a spell will happen. But there's an enemy character also floating around the same arena trying to do that as well, so you can dash. So combat gets pretty frenetic. It's not like you have time to just, line up these 3 gems, and you've got to be moving.
Yeah, you have to be running the whole time. And
some of the arenas will have obstacles, like, I don't know, like it'll be a river running through it, only one bridge, or a couple blocks in the middle. There's different spell effects like fire, there's heal. And the character design's really cool, and there's pretty good dialogue between. It looked really intriguing. I want to see more of it.
Sweet.
So what are your first 3?
Metro Exodus.
Okay.
So this is the next installment of the Metro franchise. It's a continuation of the story. And I will say they've added in a new weapon system. They also have zip lines now to get around a little bit quicker. And just the beauty of the game graphically. And the combat system in it, which is, it's a standard to the rest of the Metro series, but
is it still set underground a lot?
No, this is you're out in the wastelands now.
Okay.
Discovering there are people out there. So you've moved on. You've left where they said that nobody could live beyond.
I guess that makes sense with the title. Metro Exodus.
Yeah, and so now you're pushing your way out and learning that there are people out here. There are people surviving. The radiation isn't as bad as they said it was. And they introduced a new crossbow with bolt arrows. And so it's like an awesome way to do stealth kills. It's a lot of fun. So I did that. I also did Dying Light Bad Blood, which is the next continuation of Dying Light. It is a MMO online. It is a PvP and PvE. So basically, there is a handful of you dropped into a map. You have things you need to complete. So whether it be collecting DNA or collecting metal or something like that, you all have to complete it 100% without dying from the zombies or the attackers. Other than that, you also have to watch out for your fellow human, because there can only be one person to escape, and the escape pod will not open until there is only one human surviving, and he or she has completed everything needed to escape. Other than that, I also played Pathfinder. Pathfinder was a board tabletop game. It wasn't a board game, it was a tabletop game before, but now it's coming to the form of a video game. So you are playing through a 3D world, top-down, controlling 5 different characters at the same time. Has a really cool effect, almost Dragon Age-ish, where you can just let them auto-attack and do whatever attacks they want. Or you can pause it, hitting the spacebar, assign attacks, assign which person they're going to attack, and then unpause, let them do the attack, repause. And it has a really nice dice effect on the right-hand side. So every time you do something, it does a like a D&D check on it almost, and says this needs to have a 16 to be successful. And then it'll do a really quick dice roll on the right-hand side, and it'll tell you rolled a 15. It was a fail. So, like, it didn't do shit. Or it'll say 23, massive critical hit. The fucking person will die instantly. And that was a lot of fun. The guys over there are really great, and I had a great time checking that game out.
Nice. So my next one is called Blood Roots.
I need some blood in the cut.
I guess it sort of reminded me in play style of Hotline Miami, where like you got one hit, one kill. But the art style is way more cartoony. So what's cool about this is everything in the environment is a weapon. And they all have like limited uses. Some things will have like 3 strikes. So you could pick up, or say, a rapier, and you can hit 3 times with it. Or a wagon wheel, or a bay of hail. But yeah, just the combat is very satisfying. There's a very tangible hit feeling when you hit somebody, and blood sprays everywhere, and it's just really fun to go through, pick up something.
That's the one you want me to play, right?
Yes, like, cause you had to feel it. Like, just watching it doesn't really give you the effect. Like, you can like run. I jumped on a hay bale and I was like rolling around on it, like crushing people under my feet, and I don't know, it's just a lot of fun to just go through and just kill a bunch of people.
Huh.
I want to play that again. Soundfall was a game I had an interview for, and it's like again a brawler, but this one is based on music. So they have individual tracks, and that kind of randomly generates the level and populates it with a certain amount of monsters, a certain type of monsters. It's basically the level's made to beat it within the time frame of the song. More importantly, your attacks will only be effective if you strike on the beat, same as your dashes. So you kind of get like a totally wussy hit if you don't hit on the beat.
Really?
Yes, you're like, you know, if you get into it, you're feeling the flow, and it feels really awesome. And if you're not rhythmic like me, you struggle. But it's really cool, very bright colored. I will say, since they can do 2 players, when I was playing with someone else, the animations for like the hits and everything, and us dashing around, the screen got a little confusing. Like, I lost track of where I was a couple times. That'd be my negative feedback about it. The other one, Travis Strikes Again, the demo is actually pretty short. This is a continuation of the No More Heroes series, which you either have heard of or you haven't. You're like this crazy assassin with the lightsaber. It's kind of anime. So this one, Travis gets thrown back into like sucked into video game world, and so you get all these different game styles that you get to go through. Ours is pretty much a straightforward brawler that we were playing. Wow, I didn't realize these 3 are all brawlers. But what made it cool was there was a second player, and you could kind of chain attacks. Like one, you'd line up a line between you two and then release it at the same time for a devastating attack in between you. We actually broke the game doing that. We sent one of the enemies out of the area of play, and you can't get into the next area until you beat all the enemies. So he was on the other side of the barrier, and we're like, well. So when I interviewed Suda51, he apologized. I'm like, no, dude, I broke your game. That's an achievement. That's the only reason, actually, I'm mentioning this game, is because I broke it. It's from a famous developer.
Did you have fun with it, though?
I did have fun with it. I want to see more. There was only one. I want to know what the other styles of game are, like the classic games that they bring him into. So I want to know more. Yeah, so what are your next 3?
So my next 3 are Disco Elysium, which we checked out at another after party. And you're basically a drunken...
Super burnt out
police officer, maybe?
I think so, or retired maybe.
Or detective?
Yeah.
It was fun, really cool art style. Not 100% my game, but it seemed fun. I'd sit down and play it.
The dialogue was
amazing.
Hilarious.
Dialogue was 100% me.
Like, your character like hates himself and is like totally burnt out. And,
yeah.
Like, it says he's... At one point, you were licking alcohol off the counter.
Yep.
That was awesome.
Yep.
It's honestly more my style of game, but you would probably watch a quick look I put up.
Oh, I would, yes. We're getting messages from your wife. Are we okay?
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
What's your next game?
Leisure Suit Larry, Wet Dreams Never Die.
Speaking out of burnt out losers.
Yeah, well, Leisure Suit's not... He's not... Larry Lawfer is not burnt out. He is fucking ready to go. And, this game is full of cum and rum. And, it's fucking hilarious. This is, I laughed my ass off, basically this whole entire demo. And, there is a new phone company out there, I don't know if you've heard of it, called Prune. And Prune looks like a clitoris. And all the door handles look like sperms. Oh yeah, I saw that.
That's terrible.
And yeah, so I was laughing my ass off. There's a 3-titted giant inside the sex store with a unicorn.
So I don't know if I'll play this game. I sure as hell will watch a quick look of this.
Oh, I will play the shit out of this game.
You need to stream this.
Yep. And the next game I played would be Torchlight Frontiers, brought to us by the developers of Torchlight and Diablo 3. It feels a lot like Torchlight, except for the fact that it's going to be online. Everybody's allowed to go into the city. There's instances that you walk into off the city that are going to be like limited to like 8 to 10 players roughly. And then from there's dungeons. So it's still very early in development. It feels really, really good. Looks beautiful, just like the rest of the Torchlight series. And I'm excited to get my hands back in that. And possibly, fingers crossed, might be coming to Switch.
That would be epic.
Yep. What's your next 3?
I'm looking at it right now. So the Blackout Club is a first-person survival horror game. It starts out single player, but once you get to like the clubhouse, you can connect with other players. It's peer-to-peer apparently, so I'm not sure how that works if you don't have a friend that owns the game. But this game is creepy. It doesn't rely on jump scares, more on you see the thing coming towards you, and that's what makes it scary. You quickly learn in the demo that your life is not real. Like your parents, you get messages from them where their background is completely changed. Like it's like obvious that your parents are like some kind of AI construct. They're totally fake. You're in this house that has like this really weird internet setup where you only have access to certain things. It's like you're part of some government experiment or something. Think along the lines maybe sort of Stranger Things scenario. And then these things start coming after you, like these dark shapes, like vaguely humanoid, and they're terrifying. So you're like hiding from them. They can hear you. You want to turn your flashlight off. So there's some stealth element involved for sure. You can sort of see through them, a vague outline, if you turn on this like weird vision thing. And that's scary. The rumble was super effective, or kind of telling you how close they were.
Okay.
And these things, all these elements all together just gave you the sense of dread of these things coming and catching you. So that was very effective that way. So I don't know if I'm up for a multiplayer game, but I really did like what I saw. The next one's The Good Life from Swery. This was a Kickstarter game. It's being further produced and helped along by a company called Unties. And this is a detective game set in like a rural English style small town. Think, like English pub, fish and chips, that kind of thing. And the demo I played had me as a photographer going around and doing like side missions for people in the village. So I did 3 side missions.
Sounds interesting.
It's not your game. It honestly reminded me of the Wind Waker photography missions. So that's either something you would like or not. I don't know how much of the part of the game that particular playstyle will be. It did at least give me an idea of the village and the art style, which is sort of a hard to describe, kind of a paper-like polygon look. And there's some really wicked, funny humor in it. Like there's this vicar getting drunk that's really funny. I think I showed you some screenshots.
Yeah, I think so.
And then toward the end of the demo, you find a body, which is pretty epic. That's the whole crux of the mystery of the game. What wasn't shown in the demo, but we know from the Kickstarter, is that at night, all the villagers turn into dogs and cats, which could bring an interesting element to the game. The other game is also from Swery that I'm going to mention this segment, and that's called The Missing. So this is a side-scroller where you are someone who is immortal. You're looking for a friend. I believe her name was Emily. I could be wrong about that. And things are chasing you sometimes. There's a lot of obstacles. So it's a puzzle platformer, not unsimilar to... oh, crap, I'm drawing a blank. So never mind. Anyway, what makes this unique is you're immortal. So you could like literally run into a spike pit and lose one of your arms, and take that arm and use it
As a weapon?
As a weapon, or to knock off a box that's up high so you can jump on top of it, or to balance a weight so you can cross a bridge. And you can like chop yourself up like 4 or 5 times.
Damn.
And the animations are brutal. Like, this poor girl is like hopping on one leg with no arms, and she just looks pathetic, and you feel like a monster for doing that to her. You're like, you can press Y to regenerate at any time, but if you do that, your phantom limbs will disappear and you can't solve the puzzle. So like, she's just on the screen, just like, I don't know, it's hard to describe. You feel like a monster while you're playing.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool. So I don't know if the missing is it's a clever title because you're missing limbs, plus there's this person who's missing. I'm sure there's at least one more meaning in the game. The game also had a really cool effect that we've seen before, but it's a 2D side scroller, but the backgrounds are very 3D. So things are kind of like, as you move, like things are moving really cool in the background. It looks really neat. And that's my my next 3. So what's your next 3?
Remnants from the Ashes, which is brought to us by the developers of Diablo 3. More of a futuristic, more a modern graphic artist style, realistic art, I guess you would say. First person, well, not first person, it'd be third person, but like with like down the sight shooting and stuff like that. Set in a post-apocalyptic world with crazy, gigantic like monsters that come up. So I had a really good time with this game. It was I chose like a mercenary class, basically a shotgun and a pistol, and went through a subway tunnel out into a city that was just ravaged, and then this like flying fucking creature showed up, and I duked it out with the creature. Probably one of the funnest moments I had at PAX.
Is that the one where you were one of the
glitched out
and the only person to beat the?
Yeah.
Nice. Developer was impressed that you actually beat the boss that no one else could beat. Cool.
Yep. So it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that game. The next game is called Dauntless. So Dauntless is a free-to-play online action RPG with 5 players that are online. And you basically go around and you look for creatures to kill.
Okay.
And when you find a legendary creature, you can shoot a flare up into the sky for the rest of your team, the other 4 members, to hurry to your aid. And you fight this creature to its death. And it was a lot of fun as well.
Cool. We both played the next one.
Yep, Descenders. We actually just got done playing it. Descenders is a downhill freestyle mountain bike game. So basically, there is a set course you're supposed to go down, and it's you got to make it down there somehow by yourself.
Pretty realistic physics and graphics. It reminded me of, what is the name of that ski game?
Skate. Oh, Snow.
Snow. Totally different like method of movement, but just the style of the game really is similar to me.
It was very fun. I really enjoyed that game.
Yeah, I had fun playing it too, even though I completely suck at it. Right, my next.
We should have a video of that here pretty soon too.
Yeah, we should post that. Rebel Galaxy Outlaw is GTA 5 and GTA 5. Ugh.
GTA 5. GTA 5.
GTA. That's why I kept saying I. It's Grand Theft Auto in space. So you customize your spaceship. There's a ridiculous level of customization, by the way. I'll get to that in a second. You can be like a pirate, or you can help the cops out, or you can be a mercenary, or a privateer, or a smuggler. You can play the game many different ways. There is a main plot, but there's tons of side missions. There's all sorts of galaxy outposts and bars. At the bars, kind of Yakuza style, you can do like pub games, like pool, darts. There's even pool tournaments, apparently. So like you could just be like, doing whatever base level missions to support your fuel habit to get to the next pool tournament, if you so choose. Getting back to the customization of spaceships, you can actually, there's a really full-featured software suite of customization, like Photoshop level, where you can rotate your model and then put in stencils, import any image you want. I did ask, yes, you can put a giant dick on your spaceship. They will not moderate that, apparently. what makes that even funnier is you can then take the model of your spaceship, and they're going to partner with someone outside, and you can 3D print your spaceship.
That's awesome.
There's a small, like, Matchbox car style size, $50, going all the way up to something roughly the size of, oh shoot, I don't know, like a cell phone, a little bigger than a cell phone for $300. So yeah, that's pretty cool. There's a lot of dogfighting. You can customize your spaceship not only graphically but with different loadouts as far as how much power you're packing. The power, of course, you can divert on the fly while you're playing to shields or weapons or maneuverability, all sorts of stuff like that. But despite all that, they're trying to keep the game fairly arcadey, so they're not going to make it super technical like some of the other space games that are out there now. It looks really cool. I'm going to be looking for that when it comes out. The other game I played last on my list is Necro Barista. I played that last year at PAX. It's further along this year, and we're talking to the devs. They really want to elevate the visual novel style. So instead of just having like flat dynamic or flat characters on the screen talking at you, they really want to create a 3D environment that you interact with to progress the story. So you're still going to be like mainly doing text, but during the conversations there'll be highlighted words, and you can select them and kind of customize your experience. And based on what words, like keywords, you select, that will actually kind of change the course of the flavor of the scenario you go through. It'll kind of like change the emphasis of the game. You'll have still kind of the main plot still, but like I said, choosing those keywords will influence the way it goes. So besides the environment being more 3D and interactive, almost to like a point and click level, the other thing that's cool about it is the setting. It's a coffee shop set in the terminal, which is where recently deceased souls go when they die. Like they're so dead, like so newly dead, they don't even realize they're dead. And you're like this barista that's like serving them coffee. So I'm imagining some pretty cool stories come up from that interaction. And it's called Necro Barista because she's into necromancy. So there's all sorts of cool potential story elements, cool setting, cool new play style. I'm very excited. It's a very ambitious project. Like, it's a very small team, 10-person team. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with it. And it's coming out on PC and Switch.
Sweet. My last two is we went to a razor appointment.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about like shaving your legs or anything. I
guess you could.
I mean, the CNCing on some of these keyboards are sharp. So we're talking about the Razer Peripheral Company. They launched 3 new products while we were at PAX this week. And so we got to go get hands-on with them. One was the Mamba Wireless, which is a wireless mouse with a 5G optical sensor. It has 99.4% accuracy, which means that you'll have 2 more hits per 200 clicks. And we also got to check out the Black Widow Elite, which is the first, which is a keyboard that has a magnetic wrist rest that looks like a leatherette almost. Very high functioning keyboard. Does not have the standard macro keys on the left side, but you can basically make the FN plus any key on the keyboard a macro through the Razer software. On top of that, the volume dial on the top right can be used as a click for whatever you'd like. Comes in 3 different switches. And the Kraken TE headset,
which I wish I was wearing right now because my ears are sweating.
Me too, because it has a cooling gel inside of the ear cushion memory foam that actually cools your head. And it has THQ, I want to say, is it? THX spatial audio in a dongle, making it to where not only do you have 7.1 surround sound, but you have overhead, down below, and all areas. It's like a 360-degree audio coverage. So
I really want that gel headset right now.
Me too. Really bad.
Your last one?
My last one would be...
It's Carnival Games. Spoiler.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Carnival. I was trying to get back to it.
So you actually didn't talk to me about this, so I'm curious to hear about it.
So Carnival Games is just like the other Carnival Games has been expanded upon. It's the best and the best of the best and a few new games. So there's like the...
it's coming out on Switch then, obviously, right?
Yeah, it's coming out to Switch, I believe, only. There's like the balloon shooting game. There's like a sit in a roller coaster and shoot stuff game.
How are you controlling the games?
It depended on the game. Some of them have motion control. Some of them just have joystick.
Okay, so were you...
I was doing the Wii remote sideways.
Okay, were you ever just holding the little remotes and like swinging them like paddles or whatever?
No, because I didn't want to do that at PAX, but they said that there are some games that do require that.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah, that's all I really played.
There's actually more that we played.
Oh, shit. Yes, we did. You want to talk
games,
about those?
Yeah. So the first game we played together was something that we saw. We were walking by. It looked fun. It's called Tied Together. You have these two little monsters, and you're literally tied together. You have like a length of string or something or chain between you. So you've got to like coordinate your movements to get through these levels. And there's all sorts of spikes and other hazards. So you've got to like swing each other, to get to the little doodads you need to get to flip the switch to get to the next part. The levels were fairly short, but we found one where we just kept dying over and over. And the deaths are pretty hilarious. So we had a good time with that. That was a Switch game. I don't know. I guess it could be on other platforms. We played it on Switch.
Yeah.
Why don't you start the next one?
The Lonely Mountains Downhill.
Yes.
Is a lot like Dissenter, except
completely different.
Except for completely different.
For one thing, the perspective is different.
And our style.
Yes, it's like a cartoony style.
Yeah, and so you're a girl on a bicycle. I say girl because I believe it was a pink helmet with a pink bicycle. On a bicycle. Hey. I mean, it could be
color is non-binary, dude. I can wear a pink shirt.
Okay, so wear pink undies and you'll be fine.
You don't know what I'm wearing.
If you wear pink undies, that means you're part of Mariposa County.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, the controls are totally different too.
Yeah, so I hated the controls on this one. You seem not to mind them so much. It was like you had to if you wanted to go left, you had to move the Joy-Con.
It felt natural to me. You were struggling.
Yeah, you had to move the Joy-Con or the stick to the left, and then grind it across the bottom down to turn left. I hated it. The game was a lot of fun. The deaths were amazing. It was comical in every aspect, but there was definitely a lot of glitches I saw. So
yeah, you could get caught in the geometry of the world pretty easy.
Yeah.
So hopefully they fix some of that. The next game was much more put together, and I just realized these are all Switch games, aren't they?
They are.
So this is very much a Nintendo.
Wait, Downhill wasn't. That was PC, wasn't it?
No. I think
it was PC. I think it was on an Xbox controller.
Right. They are making a Switch version of it, though.
Are they?
Yeah, they are. Sorry, I almost said Pilot Wings. It's Pilot Sports, but it's Pilot Wings. It's just not made by Nintendo.
It's being only released on the Nintendo.
And it's totally all the modes you played in Pilot Wings. It's got the jetpack, it's got the glider, it's got the little old World War II style airplane.
The prop
plane. It's got the parachutes.
Yep.
And it's set on an island. It's totally Pilot Wings. But it was done really well. You wanted more features and modes. I did. I thought it was just fine the way it was. That's what I would want it to be. So yeah, we played that.
I mean, it was a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong.
And I do like how the split screen was done very well. I didn't feel like I was missing out on seeing a lot the way they did it. I could see what I was doing. And yeah, the graphics were good for what they were. Not photorealistic, but not super cartoony. Controls felt pretty tight.
Yeah, the controls were fine except for on the parachute one. I could not wrap my head around that one whatsoever.
Well, we were getting thrown into it really fast. I think that might be initially a problem, but I think that was just learning the controls. I don't think that was a fault of the actual control scheme. It was just we didn't know what we were doing.
I mean, you did fine on it. I just sucked.
Yeah, just some controls our brains work better with. So.
Yep.
We saw a lot more games. That's all we're going to bring to you because we've been talking about these for a long time now. And we're going to skip the game release this week because for once we actually talked about games we've been playing. Holy crap.
No shit. That's the first time.
And I hope that gave you a taste of our PAX experience. Maybe that'd be something you want to check out in the future. Like we said, if you're listening to us other parts of the world, there is a chance you can still get to a PAX. There's Australia, there's East. It's a good time. Just take care of yourself. Vitamins, lots of water. Try to get some sleep. Because that's what we're going to do next.
Yep.
Get some sleep.
Exactly. So until next week, guys, don't forget to check us out at Facebook.com/Plug and Play Show, Twitter and Instagram at Plug and Play Cast, YouTube.com/Plug and Play Gamer.
Sure. We'll go with that.
All right. And until next week, don't forget to prime and shine.